te vas mañana bajo el calor de este sol tibio, lloraré 6 lágrimas de amor, una de vivió. El amor es como un árbol, florece con
Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Well, there was this great concert. It was like classical music with strings and stuff. And then they took a break, and then this woman came out with a guitar. And she was okay, but it's like, I'd rather hear classical music. It's like, now it's just like kind of singer-songwriter stuff with strings behind it, which is cool, but I complain about it first thing. So I was trying to use it to book in my stream, and I didn't have my orientation right. I went live and my orientation was vertical, and the thing locks. You can't change it once you have committed to the stream. You cannot change the orientation. So the classical music was playing this kind of cool opening riff, and I missed it, and then I got that instead. So that's what just happened just now. Everybody, we're live. I probably am not going to do that long. I mean, I've got 50% or something. I just wanted to jump on, and I don't even know what the hell is going to happen or what I'm going to talk about or anything. It's Glib Summer.
One word
It's
alliance, please.
Springsteen Summer. It's Mad Men Summer. It's Alice Nutley Summer. It's whatever summer you want it to be. It's Where's Waldo Summer. It's summer. Well, I guess it's not technically summer. It's spring, but the weather is pretty nice here. So, we've been watching Mad Men. You know, the thing I didn't realize about that show is, when I watched it the first time, and I can't believe that I missed this, is the show is kind of, what the characters go through is sort of metaphorically what is happening in the popular narrative of the 60s or whatever. I didn't really get that the first time. When the British people buy them, and then Lane Price ends up one of the partners. It's like that completely reflects the kind of British invasion and just kind of the British influence on culture at that time. I'm sure among political stuff or whatever as well. And the way the office changes, everything kind of breaks apart right around the JFK assassination. Roger gets divorced. The office gets bought out, and then they get a new office. The look of the office changes. It's like they come out of the 50s. The early show really feels like it's still the 50s almost. It's like this deep kind of tweed Kinsey the Orson Welles looking dude. He's got the pipe. He's like a beatnik type. And then the art in the characters' offices kind of reflects that. Burt Cooper's got that fucking
I'll start now, bro. Like, he's gonna put a street on.
Rothko. And then their offices start to look like the middle 60s. Like, we just got to 1965, so Don got divorced. You can feel the Beatles kind of influence, even though they haven't really referenced it that explicitly in the show. I didn't get that the first time I watched it. I can't believe I missed that. That kind of makes it, because to me, what I loved about that show was how it didn't really sensationalize the characters' lives in any kind of like gratuitous way, like TV shows typically do. You know, Don Draper has got his haunted past and his skeletons and all this, but like, you know, the show kind of gives him a peaceful ending in a way, which is nice. You know, he doesn't get blown away or arrested or thrown in jail or whatever. And it just kind of, to me, that show really illustrates the passage of time in a very, but see, that's why I can't believe I missed that the first time, because that is like what they're doing. They're kind of just like metaphorically creating characters, creating storylines that are kind of, this is something that kind of frustrates me about comedy. A lot of comedy skits are like about, aren't they stupid the way they used to do shit? Can you believe this used to be the custom or something like that? Like that skit with
I think it's higher, but
Bargatze about the metric system and the units of measure and shit. George Washington coming up with this system that just makes no fucking sense at all. And that's the joke. For whatever, you know, like, I don't know, that kind of humor, there's a lot of humor that's kind of based on that type of, that's the point of the sketch. And to some degree, I feel like that's kind of what Mad Men does. Mad Men is like totally about like illustrating the kind of cultural changes through the characters. Peggy's birth control, right? That was something all women, so she's kind of illustrative of her generation. Women coming to the workforce. She's uncreative. Freddie Rumsen is this old-fashioned guy. He doesn't understand that he's not just like her boss. She's not just his subordinate. Oh, every woman wants a husband. They got to get this Pond's cold cream. They got to get this Pond's cold cream so they can get married, find a man. Whereas like Peggy's this independent woman, maybe she doesn't want that. She's on birth control. She's got her own job, her own income. She's got a roommate in the city. So the characters are kind of illustrative of the changing. In the 60s are kind of an obvious or easy, I don't know, like that decade is so documented. It's kind of the, I mean, that's part of what the show's about, right? Is these guys on Madison Avenue shaping public opinion and kind of like the subconscious, tapping into the subconscious of the culture and of the people, selling them shit, manipulating them, making associations, finding associations between things. So finding people's unconscious desire. You need a husband. So you gotta, you know, it's a fascinating fucking subject for a show, to be honest, because it really is such a huge industry and has such a huge effect on the consumer culture. And these guys also kind of flew under the radar. They weren't on TV, you know, they weren't necessarily famous like movie stars or whatever, even though they were having this kind of outsized effect. Where do I like to go? I'll just go back up this way. You know, they're selling cigarettes. Their number one client is Lucky Strike. It accounts for 70% of the billing or whatever. It's like, they know they're killing people. They're killing themselves. They're smoking cigarettes and drinking in every fucking scene. Just constantly, every scene. Anything, the slightest thing goes wrong. Jesus Christ, I'm going to pour myself a round glass of brown liquor. Like, how could they have fucking possibly drank that much alcohol and smoked that many cigarettes? There's no way Don Draper lived past 55. Living like that. But it also functions on this level where it's like, it's kind of like this Hitchcock movie, and all the characters are super sexy clothes. So it's, you know, it's working on two levels, where like people who just want to see John Hamm and fucking what's her face, January Jones and Joan. If you just want to see Joan, go va va voom, and you can check that out. You can watch the show just for that. For the kind of soap opera of all the hot people and the I don't know. I guess it was kind of a throwback to kind of a conservative style. It was interesting the way it was veiled over kind of Obama era and like millennial culture. You know, it premiered like right around the end of the Bush era. It's sort of like The Sopranos. It's basically the same template for how to make a show and the cinematography
And there was one other.
but you kind of take out all the gratuitous violence and whacking and shit like that. There isn't a whole lot other than the guy getting his foot run over with the lawnmower. But that, you know, that was all part of the storyline. You know, I don't know. It made sense. Shit like that does happen in life.
I'm not gonna like prank crazy late tonight, but I'll be up for a couple hours.
What the fuck was I gonna say? Bleecker. We're on Bleecker Street again, everybody. It's Tuesday. The open mic was last night. You know, I just like the way the show takes big chances with the characters. They're not afraid to, but like I said, I guess that's built into the idea of the show, which is that it's a metaphor of the 60s. Yeah, so that was kind of the height of prestige television in a way, right? It was fucking AMC, but it could have been an HBO show. It was probably sanitized a little bit for AMC, which was not a pay cable station. And a lot of it was DVDs. That was even sort of before streaming. I mean, people had fucking box sets of the goddamn seasons of Mad Men and shit. That's how I watched it originally. I mean, I think they showed one of the episode about Peggy getting birth control in this class I was in at Ohio State called The 60s. And here we are. Fucking Bleecker and McDougal here. Let's just get a shot of this real fast. God, I'm all over the place here. I don't know. My life is just a fucking bunch of movies and TV shows. So this is what I have to talk about. I mean, should I talk about real life? To me, Mad Men in a certain way was the most lifelike of those shows. The way they sketch these characters, the way they're trying to sort of draw a picture of New York society, all the different class strata. Okay, so that's, you know, for the time, it was like, I don't know if I'd say it was like a woke show, but I'd say it was progressive for the time, in that it was like a lot of women writers, a lot of, was that a fucking train whistle? Women directors. A lot of the show is, I don't know if you'd call it feminist, but it's, you know, they respect the women characters. They're strong women characters. You know, they take time to tell that story. It's not completely about Don Draper, anti-hero douchebag, you know, womanizer, alpha, whatever, sort of James Bond of advertising. All the wrong people are famous. All the dumbest people are famous. Christy Stefano, Sun Club Random. Fucking David Mamet was on Club Random again. And Yeah, sorry. No, you're fine, you know. Okay. Okay. Sorry, they're in my video. I think they thought I was somebody famous, or I don't know. They're running after somebody who's famous. Is that Chris DiStefano? I thought they said Chris DiStefano. Okay. Yeah, Mammoth was on fucking Club Random again. They got into a fight about the election. Bill talks about the same 4 things every fucking Club Random. He talks... This is my life now, watching Mad Men and Bill Maher. And then I've managed to squeak in Jay Leno content in there. I did a big Jay Leno opening at the open mic last night. The problem is the Jay Leno theme song just sounds like shit. I like Kevin Eubanks. You can tell Kevin Eubanks is just kind of this like LSD'd out fucking kind of stoner guy, just getting paid. He doesn't give a fuck. I don't know. It's so bad. That's just my aesthetic, I guess. It's just so fucking bad that I'm like, yes, this is hilarious to me. And I just love this energy. It's just so fucking horrible. I talked about this the other day, I guess, in my 4 hour. I'm talking about the same shit again, probably. You know, Mad Men is not really about the people of color. You know, those characters are factored in, but it's not really, you know, all of the characters are sort of on the same ladder or whatever of American hierarchy, where like they're all sort of trying to attain whiteness, or like maybe not attain whiteness, but just like, you know, Don Draper is sort of like passing. He's just like, he looks the part. He just looks like he's handsome. He's fucking stylish, like he's confident. So you know, he can be Don Draper in 3 seconds. He can wake up anywhere, comb his hair, put a fucking suit on, and all of a sudden he's Cary Grant in North by Northwest, and nobody fucking asks any questions. And even though he's hillbilly white trash, poor, his parents fucking died, his mom was a whore, died in childbirth, his dad was kicked by a horse, he grew up on a fucking farm, dishonest people live there. The whole backstory of Don Draper is just amazing. It really does feel like classic American literature type shit. Dick Whitman. His father, kicked by a horse, died. Insane. So you can see why he's traumatized, and you can see why he's self-medicating with booze and sex and luxury. It's just amazing how fast things fall apart. I mean, it's true. He says it in the show. Once Betty finds out who he really is, it's over. Once she finds the box, and you know, I don't know, maybe it's because he lied to her. But once she finds out who, it's not really about the cheating or any of that. It's about their class. Just like the fucking Great Gatsby. She finds out, you know, Don doesn't like to talk about his past. He doesn't want people to know. He doesn't want people to know anything. He doesn't talk about it at all, which, like, you know, in those days, guys who'd been through the war, that was like a reasonable thing. Hey, I don't want to fucking talk about it. Period. End of story. That was kind of acceptable. Because he doesn't want people to know that he's just this fucking poor orphan, bastard child. Get some fucking periphery here. So she, you know, Betty is sort of like that's what her dad thinks. Her dad thinks Don Draper is not really good enough for. I mean, I guess every dad thinks that, but Betty is like, I think a little bit. She's like upper middle class. she's like a wasp. She's like what Dawn wants to be, I think. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. But once she finds out that he's not really just like the ultimate kind of white male, eastern seaboard type guy. He's from the Midwest and blah, blah, blah.
It's just like, let's color over.
He's Dick Whitman. She loves Don Draper. She doesn't love Dick Whitman. But the Anna chick in LA, that's sort of like his family. He can be himself there. He goes to LA to visit Anna, who was the real Don Draper's wife. I also just love the way that it functions like a TV show. Like, this is all very TV type shit to do. Like, oh, the wife of the guy whose identity he stole lives in LA. So he can go there and he can just be himself. He can be Dick Whitman. His hair's, you can tell by his hair. His hair's a little bit more poofy when he's Dick Whitman. Oh, God. If they only knew I was live streaming to nobody. What's the fucking point of this? Somebody, I mean, you guys watch later. I know people want to hear my... It's like I said, I live in video world now. Oh, I was talking about Club Random. Bill Maher talks about the same 4 things every time. Trans kids, the election was stolen, he hates Gen Z, the woke people are wrong, even Gavin Newsom is sort of like turning the woke people. He literally says the same fucking things every Club Random. And so he just kind of like ambushed David Mamet about being MAGA. And Mamet was pretty cool about it. But he's MAGA, so who fucking cares? Bill has more fucking MAGA people on his show than liberals. He won't have, like, woke people on his show. Bill doesn't even have women on his show. There's very few women that'll even go near Bill. And I think he's some kind of fucking right-wing plant or something, to be honest. Like, Bill Maher has Tim Pool on. Bill Maher has Charlie Kirk on. Bill Maher has Piers Morgan. It's like, or David Mamet, or fucking Tony Hinchcliffe. It's like, what the fuck? Why don't you have a fucking trans person? Why don't you have some, some people of color, some fucking, I don't know, whatever. Some more women. Jesus Christ. Like 2025, dude. It's not 1978 in some fucking comedy club in like Manhattan anymore. I'd Catch a Rising Star. It's a nice street. This is Charles. So yeah, he just immediately started, oh, I was smarter than everybody in that Trump was gonna deny the election results. Blah, blah, blah. I said it before. He says this he says it on Real Time. He says it on Club Random. Oh, yeah. The other thing, he talks about how he doesn't have kids. How he never got married and doesn't have kids. Every fucking show. And the worst part is he doesn't listen. So literally, he's just like, if you watch his content, you hear the same fucking things over and over again. And you don't even get to hear what the guest has to say. You don't even really get to hear what David Mamet has to say. It's just like Bill, like, well, I never had kids. And, I never got married. So, I'm a little bit different than everybody. And it's like, Bill, shut the fuck up. Let David Mamet just run his mouth about whatever the hell he wants to talk about. Bambitt has always been like a man, kind of a masculinity, fetishist or whatever. It's like he's always like made furniture and like been into guns. He lived in Vermont, like a cabin, and you know, the knife, the pocket knife. There's some fucking play or some movie or something where there's like a knife. Lake Boat's like the fucking greatest example of that. I had the fucking DVD and shit, so oh yeah, I was thinking about in my fucking, yeah, they redid this. They redid the Cherry Lane Theater, so fucking I think that was, well, I've been seeing all these fucking TikToks of Romy Mars and Sofia Coppola. Yeah.
Oh, it's so warm. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome out.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I thought that guy was talking to me. I think that was Romy Mars and Sofia Coppola walking the dog. I'm just high. Maybe I'm just high. Well, they acted, when they saw the camera, they acted like really like, I think they turned around and like, do they have a dog? It was like some kind of like Labrador Golden Retriever or something. For some reason, all these Romy Mars TikToks have been popping up. I don't even know who it was. It's like weird. I don't really want to see this. But she lives in the village somewhere. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't them. It's somewhere around here. I mean, it's literally like one block over or something. They just reacted pretty crazy to the live stream. Like, uh-oh, what the fuck is this? I don't know. Just let me do my goddamn YouTube show, okay? I'm live from the streets. Jaywalking. The Tonight Show. Yeah, so, to me, Jay Leno and Bill Maher are one and the same. They really are the same. In fact, they made the same joke about, there was something we were watching the other day, and I was like, they literally both made the same fucking joke about, oh God, what was it? Was it Bill Clinton getting a blowjob? I mean, Jay Leno, 90% of his monologue jokes are about Bill Clinton getting a blowjob from Monica Lewinsky. He said there was I was watching this Tonight Show from like 2003 or 4 or something, and there was some joke about George Bush. Oh, the midterms, the Republicans swept. They won everything. It was right after 9/11, 2002. They won everything. They won the House, they won the Senate, they won the fucking, just everything. And so George Bush was smoking a cigar in celebration, right, in the White House. He said it's a slow news day, so this was like news. George Bush was smoking a cigar, and he's like, luckily, you know, the White House already had a cigar roller. Can we show a picture of that? Boom, and they show a picture of Monica Lewinsky. It's like, dude, this is after fucking 9/11. They're still talking about this. It's just like, I don't know what he would have done. 90% of his jokes were about fucking Monica Lewinsky. And it's just, geez, it's just hack. He's the king of the hacks. And, God, what was the Bill Maher joke? They literally did the same joke. Because Bill, like, really fucking loves Jay. He really looks up to Jay Leno. And I don't know. It's the hell my life has become. I watch Jay Leno reruns on YouTube. They make me laugh, what can I say? Not on purpose. Not because they're trying to be funny. Because they're just so fucking lame. I'm not paparazzi, okay? I'm an artist, okay? That's why nobody watches, okay? My stream is too highbrow. And see, I think Sofia Coppola lives on this street right here. pretty sure. Not to like, I mean, this is sort of common knowledge. I'm not like doxing anybody. There's TikToks about it. And I don't know. I'm not trying to. Well, okay. One of the things that I realized in like, I was rereading my chat book today. Is just how we're among like all these weirdly like huge film directors, right? Like Ashley met Wes Anderson. There's another chat book where like Sofia Coppola was doing this fucking book launch, blah blah blah. It's just kind of a funny aspect of living in New York. I went to a Wim Wenders screening once at fucking MoMA. He was there. So it's kind of funny to just sort of, you know, have encounters with these kind of world cinema idols of my youth, you know, idols of the DVD millennial youth. Sofia Coppola, Wes Anderson, Francis Ford Coppola, Gia Coppola, you know, all the Coppola children. So what else? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I got the clown show next Wednesday. Trying to figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do for that. And then I think I'm doing a feature in June at a poetry thing. And then New York City Poetry Festival coming up. So, you know, I've kind of got my summer a little bit planned out. And like Mad Men, we will be in the office every week. You know, Mad Men, they don't really go out of town. They work. They're working on campaigns. This is New York. You know, you're working in July, you're working in August, you're getting dressed up. I don't know. I guess that's just one way of glamorizing servitude. Is it an invasion? I mean, is this like an inappropriate thing to do? My fucking selfie stick kind of broke. I don't know, the thing kind of came unglued or something. And so, I don't know, it still kind of works, but I'll have to get a new selfie stick. Before they make it illegal. I saw a couple people streaming in Washington Square Park. It's still not like a huge amount, but the streaming has arrived. I was just reading all this article about Hollywood as a ghost town, and so there's like 1 out of every 5 movies. It's like the production has plummeted within Hollywood because there's tax rebates to go to London or Ireland or fucking. They were saying how they film all the fucking Marvel movies in London now because the tax rebates will give them like tens of millions of dollars. And they literally, like, some of these rebates, they literally get like checks from the government. Like, here's 10, 20, 30 million dollars in like tax rebates. Boom, just like cash. I mean, I know California is like a tax state where they are okay with that, but you'd think they would get wise and be like, we need to do this here. You know, this is one reason why they shoot so much shit in New York. The article was saying they used to shoot all this stuff in New Orleans, but then, or Louisiana, but then Georgia came out with these new tax rebates, tax incentives. And so Hollywood moved all the production to Georgia, right? Now Atlanta kind of blew up. There's all these studios there. And so Hollywood as the kind of creative nucleus of the film industry has already, I mean, that's not even necessarily like an internet thing. That's just like in policy, government, and like you know, they said that the cities that offer these tax rebates to the productions to film make very little of their money back. It says they really, you know, they make about like 15 or 25 cents for every dollar they spend to bring a production in. But they said it looks good because it creates jobs, even if they're like short-term jobs. Okay, I'm on 20%, so I'll probably get off pretty soon. So it's I don't know, it's almost one of those things like building a stadium or something where you're like, why are they doing this? Like, the taxpayer is completely subsidizing this. Why? Just so they can film fucking Marvel movies there? Or what is the incentive for the, you know, I guess it's some kind of like corporate socialism where the cities are sort of footing the bill for the jobs. That's how everything works now. It's like, oh yeah, we'll give Amazon some big tax rebate to build a warehouse here because they'll bring 300 jobs or whatever. It's like, doesn't really seem worth it, but it's the federal government like subsidizing the industry in a way, or maybe the local government, I guess, not the federal government. It's Georgia decides to do that, or New Orleans or Louisiana decides to do that, or New York decides to do that, right? That's why all these productions started to shoot in New York City, because they said this started in Vancouver, right? I remember in Vancouver in the 90s. In the 90s, like X-Files and shit, certain shows shot in Vancouver, not Hollywood. You know, was traditionally, well, this article, it starts with an interview with Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe doesn't like to leave LA to work. He likes going to work and then being able to come home and sleep in his own bed. He doesn't like going to location, going to other places, live in a hotel, whatever. He said all the shows he's been on recently, Parks and Rec, whatever the fuck, they all shot in LA. But now there's nobody shoots in LA anymore. So they have to go to Ireland or whatever. They said there's some game show he hosts. They shoot it in London. He said they fly 100 American people over there for a week to be on the show, rather than film it in the United States somewhere. It's cheaper to do that. It's cheaper to fly 100 people, 100 Americans, to the United Kingdom to fucking film this show. Kind of amazing.
That's
It's just kind of the weird, I mean, if this subsidy, maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe the film industry should be more democratized, but part of the point of he talks about, he worked on some film shoot in Atlanta, and the guy who was doing the dolly kept fucking the shot up, and they were like, because he worked at a he worked at a Home Depot or something. He did a dolly thing at Home Depot, so they thought, oh, he can do this. And turns out he couldn't. You know, whereas like LA is like this place where there's union jobs, people could make a good living learning their craft in Hollywood. And there could be like a community of people fucking kind of keeping the fucking that kind of shit alive. You know, gaffing, costume design, whatever, production design. Okay, let me just sit here and do it till there's 10 minutes left. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, apparently they said everyone in Hollywood is scared. Mark Duplass said everyone's scared. They don't know if those jobs are coming back. It's, you know, the days of prestige television and just like blank checks from Netflix are over. Hopefully movies will get good again. I mean, I guess part of the reason why they make these big Marvel movies is because they can bundle it into some kind of big budget and then just get a huge check for a tax rebate. You know, if they have a movie that costs $300 million to make and they get whatever, 10% or whatever back, that's $30 million that they're just gonna get, like, boom, right off the drip, right off the rib. Okay, what the hell else? I don't know. I mean, I think I saw Ashley's book was like in the top summer picks for LitHub. LitHub's top poetry picks for the summer. It doesn't surprise me, really. I'm telling you, I think this book could take off because it's entertaining. It's actually readable. It's not like a lot of poetry, which is a sort of... It's in its own realm of kind of like sacred feelings and not that Ashley's stuff doesn't have that. You know, it's real poetry, but it's also enjoyable to read and rewarding. It's funny. It's witty. It's smart. It's mind-blowing. And so it's accessible in a way. It's not necessarily like there's some wall of... It still is stylized and kind of high flown or whatever, but it's also like it's not like cryptic or indecipherable or whatever. I don't know. Corny. It's chic. It's not corny. A lot of poetry is fucking corny. Let's face it. That's what people like about it. But it's not Rupi Kaur. It's not super, you know, watered down, simple. It's like, I don't know. It's more. It's real writing. It's like Sylvia Plath. I think it's going to have a popular success. You know, I think girls out there could buy this book and be like, yes, this is who I want to be. This is, you know, like Rookie magazine fucking lifestyle materials. I want to be just like Ashley. I want to live in New York. I want to win this book contest at a young age and have an old man for a boyfriend. Have an inappropriate age gap relationship. And drink martinis and go to restaurants and meet famous people and vlog about it. So I'll be one of the minor characters. I'll be like the Joyce Johnson. I'll write some book about how I knew Ashley. I think this is only the beginning. You know, with Ashley, the sky's the limit. She could be in the Cannes Film Festival. I mean, look, she met Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson has our poetry books. You know, that he might read them. Hopefully they make his next movies better. Maybe he'll call us in for a meeting or something. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Ashley didn't get in the New York Times. This summer, I think it could happen. It's glib summer, you know, and I think this book could really take off. This thing could really catch fire. It's iconic, you know, it's pre-iconic. It's made to be. And it's something that just normal people can read, you know, or, you know, these psycho pixie anime maniacs. Cottagecore. So I don't know how she did it. Looking back on my life, it's like, what the hell did I do wrong? Should I have entered more book contests? I mean, to be honest, it's there. If you actually look at the book, you're like, yeah, this thing works. It's fully formed. It's strong all the way through. And there's a lot of variety. There's a lot of patterns. There's a lot of different kinds of poems, a lot of different kinds of writing, different kinds of language, different effects. But it's also very like coherent with the character and the voice, and it's very sure of itself. Very hip. Includes a lot of references to a lot of cool things. But it's also an interesting pattern-making device. Ashley did a lot of different line lengths, a lot of different pagination kind of styles. Big, long poems, kind of tossed off notebook poem type things. That was one thing that struck me about it, is like, looking at my book, it's a lot more uniform all the way through. Ashley's book does do kind of a lot of different things. And so I think it could be perennial for many decades and generations to come. But in the meantime, what the hell, we're just here plowing away, doing our night. So last night, I didn't have a plan for what I was going to do at all. I had a poem that I was maybe going to read that kind of covered a lot of the things that happened that week, but I decided to I just started playing the piano, and that's what happened. So I thought it was pretty interesting. It was an interesting kind of verbal collage of everything that happened in the week. I thought it was kind of funny. The audience didn't necessarily seem to be blown away, but I don't know. I don't say stuff that's like big, crowd pleasing lines either. My stuff is more in bad taste. Liking Bill Maher, calling out Bill Maher and Jay Leno and all this horrible shit. I don't know why that's cool to me. Is it like the John Wiener's thing of making the edge the center, taking ownership of the things that are outcast, all the things that are bad, so-called? There's a lot of interesting stuff there. Sometimes it's more interesting to see that stuff than just, to listen to Finn Wolfhard's music, which is just like this kind of paint-by-numbers jangle pop. It's well done, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather hear, I don't know, some kind of outsider artist or something real weird. I'd rather see Jay Leno. I'd rather listen to Kevin Eubanks and the Tonight Show Band. Maybe I'll read the poem that I was going to read last night. This is what I was maybe going to read. Oh, fuck, I'm on 10%. So let's see. I'll do this, and then that'll be the end. I am going to put a new vlog out, I think, tonight. So look forward to that. Okay. Medicinal chyron. No one's watching. Anxiety within the cunt. I like it when I don't know what it means. Thanks for organizing these grand days in the yard. 2 Dodges and a Studebaker, cheap flights to Europe. Much to my chagrin, I've reread all my poetry. Guess I'll write some. Are we going to make the movie? Ashley's out getting a couch. Learn from the patterns, look at the shapes. Maybe I'll read some Ashley. Whoops, that's not it. R.I.P. Maddie D. My twin in name and look. From across the room. Mere reflection, occupation, audio-visual, AAV. People would mistake me for him more than once. Once in Molasses, the owner and wife smiled big and showed me their new baby. But I wasn't him. I was his evil twin. Wanted to publish his books in the churchyard at St. Mark's. Bobo Village was one. I'm probably getting that wrong. You've run out of free articles for the month. Now I'm worried am I next? This Memorial Day more full than most others. Propaganda I'm not falling for. Just write everything like a poem. My friends won't even publish me or mention me in their poems, even though I do both for them all the time. It's okay, the ink fades. A rhyme of white mats with horn rims, laid back in long hair. I saw him at the marathon, shook his hand, said he hardly recognized me. Through thin and the fat years. We can watch the rest of it free online. Strawberry shortcake, tea set and a dress. The cultural plumbing of the body national. You have to listen to it over and over. Stealing the official copy from the office for one's own personal use. Then it gets taken by thieves who creep in the night. What did I just hear? In through one ear, ETA 311. Salt and pepper from stress. And Corgi estate, origami fortune teller. I'm a bad son, a bad brother, and a bad friend. Drugged out. Whatever you do, I will go with you. Ashley met Wes Anderson right in front of me and shook his hand, giving him our books. Glib and SF Days, which I almost didn't bring, thinking what's the point? He was wearing all white, crossing the basement lobby of Angelica through a back corridor to the Q&A. He was golden, like Ernest Lubitsch winning an Oscar, and said, "You're Ashley?" so he knows her name. Then we went upstairs to Marseille Bob's, and Roger Sterling ordered a drink right next to us at the bar as if he stepped right out of the show, which we have been watching on Ashley's laptop this past week. Honest to God. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Go back, watch from the beginning. Go back, watch the open mic from yesterday. I'll have a new vlog either tonight or tomorrow. And God bless everybody. God bless us, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.